Alright, in this video, I'm going to be going over a Expedition 33 build. This isn't like one of those crazy 2 billion damage builds that you see, but it's still pretty powerful.
An advantage.
And it's surrounded around Maelle. So, I mean, I think she's probably the best character in the entire game. Let me go to a expedition flag real quick and I'll get to it and show you the build. Or I could just find an enemy. Let's go back to the continent.
Flashing through the sky.
Alright, I think there's an enemy. Yes. Alright, so I'm gonna get into the Pictos. And as you can see, I'm at 1 HP. I'll show you how to get to 1 HP consistently while still being completely safe. So this is the Pictos that I have currently. I have Shortcut. I'll just go ahead and click on it. It immediately play when falling below 30% health, which that doesn't really matter too much. I just use it for the crit rate. And 100% critical chance while fighting alone. That's because I removed everyone from the expedition except for Maelle. That way I just get 100%. Actually, hold on a minute. I don't need the shortcut if I have this. Whatever. And then every AP gain is increased by 1. Don't really necessarily need that, but I just have it on there. This is where this right here is where the magic happens. Right now, I still have some improvements to make, but this is still a very good build. I have at Death's Door, which is 50% more damage, just flat out. 50% more damage on the first hit, just more damage. Then 25% increase the critical chance of burning enemies. That's whenever I just want to play with my teammates, so like a boss or something that's a cutscene, or like Renoir at the very end of the game. This build isn't perfect for that because as soon as you use your 2 moves to basically one-shot the first phase, he goes back to full health, and then he moves first anyway, and then you just die unless you can parry very well. Cheater, you always play twice. This is essential in the build. It allows you to use one skill, which replenishes all your AP and brings you down to 1 health, but also puts you in Virtuo stance. And that basically just allows you to go again and hit really hard the second turn. And I use this just to be able to use the first skill. First strike, just to play first. 30 increase, just the flat damage increase. Then right here, you apply powerful, just a flat buff to just your damage overall. We have another Picto, I believe, that gives us some shields, so that's just 30% more damage anyway. 50% more damage just for fighting alone. 30% damage when falling, or just immediate, but that doesn't matter. But this is essential right here. If you don't have this, you can't get above 9,999 damage. You get this by defeating the final boss. Not the final boss, but the Paintress, which is kind of built up to be the final boss. Then right here, this synergizes really well with Shield Affinity. This gives you 3 shields on the battle start, but max health is halved. You're probably not going to get hit very often doing this build right here, so half health doesn't matter at all. Glass Cannon, 25% more damage, but you take 25% more damage. You're not planning on getting hit, so it doesn't really matter at all. Base attack implies defenseless for 1 turn. Doesn't really matter all that much unless you're wanting to do multiple hits of really big damage. In that case, I would only use it whenever you want multiple expedition members for like a boss or something, and you can use the base attack whenever going again. That you can do a really big attack with Verso or CL or Lune or whatever. Now right here we have Inverted Affinity, which applies inverted, which means you can't heal, because if you do heal, it'll hurt you. But it gives you 50% increased damage while you're inverted. And then on every damage dealt, try to consume 1 AP. If successful, increase damage by 20%. What this means is that if the skill has 8 AP required to use that skill, if you have 9 AP, you get 20% increased damage. But if you have an 8 AP skill and you only have 8 AP, then you don't get the flat increase. But the way we're going to do it, we're going to have that 20% increase. And I believe that's all the... Oh, and the weapon. I have the medallion right now. And you can see my stats right there. It's just 99 defense, agility, and 62 agility, and 58 might. For this weapon, the scalings over there has S in defense, A in agility. Early game, I basically just upgrade might until I get this. Then I start going, obviously, more into defense. And then whenever I get that maxed out, I go more into agility and then back into might. And I'm not even max level yet, level 99, because whenever I do, I'll have 99 in all three of those stats. And I should have close to about 11,000 power. This is one of the highest damaging weapons in the game. I think the only one that's higher than it, I think, is Barrier Breaker, because I don't have it fully upgraded. But in terms of just the numbers, I think Barrier Breaker is higher. But due to starting Virtuo stance, you just do 200% more damage, so that base power is just going to double anyway. So you're not actually dealing 7,790 damage, or I guess attack power. That'd be 8,757. You're actually dealing closer to 18,000 per hit, which, I mean, that's just unreal. And now that I've explained that, I'm going to explain the specific skills that I use. The only three that I really worry myself with is Last Chance. Last Chance reduces your self-health to 1 but refills all AP and switches to Virtuo stance. This synergizes really well with the Strike First Picto and the Cheater Picto, because you just essentially get a free turn where you get double damage and you have a full set of AP. And that also synergizes well with a bunch of Pictos that work well whenever you're at very low HP. Next one that I have is Phantom Strike. You're only going to use this if you have multiple enemies attacking you, such as like a one-face boss that has like a bunch of minions. This is what you'll use. And this also gives you 35% of a gradient charge, which is really good. Because after that, like, use that, and if that doesn't, for some reason, one-shot about any boss in the game, you can just basically just do a gradient attack a couple turns after. Which, depending on the one you use, will also put you in Virtuo stance. Now this is the bread and butter of the whole entire build, the ability Stendhal. I believe it was nerfed in a recent patch. It doesn't matter, it's still really good. It does extreme single target void damage, 1 hit, and removes self shields and self applies defenseless. We don't care about that. We just want the extreme single target void damage. I'll go ahead and show you what that damage looks like. Let me go ahead and heal Maelle. You don't have to heal Maelle, because you can just go the entire game at 1 HP. It doesn't matter. Let's go see it in action. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is click Skills, go over, go Last Chance.
Last chance. I can do it.
Alright, now we go back to Skills, and because there's multiple enemies, we're going to use Phantom Strike. Now you want to get perfect on both of those to get the maximum amount of damage. Now you see one shot, damage dealt 1.3 million. And we got some loot over there. No one game on parry, ball, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. See, the highest damage was 505,000, but damage dealt was 1.3 million. Typically I don't care about damage dealt, but whenever it's a one shot on multiple enemies, that's what you want to look at. But if it's just one enemy, you want to go to highest damage, I believe, because damage dealt, that's just going to be their max HP. If you were to put all three of those enemies' HP together, that would be the 1.3 million. But individually, they each took 505,997 damage. So I think you multiply that by 3, you get the 1.3 million. Unless there might be some weird rounding in that. I haven't done the math on that. I don't think it really matters because I one-shot it anyway. But that's the build for Phantom Strike. Now let me see if I can get a single enemy. Let me see if there's like a... Actually, I don't much care if I get the single enemy or not, because I'm just gonna one-shot that enemy anyway, and we'll see the damage. Okay. Yeah, let's get you. Now pay attention to the number whenever I hit the enemy. Pay attention to the number above his head. So I'm just going to stop combat as soon as I get this number off. So this time I'm going to go last chance again. Full HP. Not full HP, but full AP. Now you see those in the bottom right corner? Those little pictos they activated? That shows you what buffs you currently have. Of course, you'll get more whenever you actually use the move as well. So now we're going to click square for Stendhal, and I'm going to do it on one that this one doesn't have any shields. If you want to one-shot an enemy with shields, I would do Phantom Strike because it does 4 hits of damage. Of course, if they have more than 4 shields, then it won't work, obviously. That's whenever you want to have more than one Expeditioner. But if you just want to do the highest amount of damage possible just to test the numbers, you want to do one with no shields, and then use Stendhal, which is what I'm doing right now. $8.6 million. That's ridiculous. You see all those pictos that just got activated? Okay, see, I died right there. Doesn't matter. See, that was my highest damage, is 8.6 million. And and I have it on my phone right here, the highest damage that I've recorded for myself, personally. Let me just pull it up real quick. I'll see if I can get the camera to focus on it to see that you can actually see it. I think it was like 11 million or something like that. It was unreal. It was just ridiculous. Never mind, it was like 12 million. I don't know if you can... I don't know if you'll ever be able to see that. Or maybe if I just go... Okay, it's not going to focus, but the damage dealt, or the highest damage is 8.6 million damage, but the damage dealt was 12,390,190. And I believe that was on Renoir. I think that was the Renoir boss fight, which on the final boss is absolutely ridiculous. And I think that's going to be it for this video. This isn't like one of those broken builds where just completely, I guess it is broken, but it's not like the 2 billion damage that I've seen. I think I've seen someone get up to 3 billion damage using this sort of build. I still don't have all the Pictos or Lumina or anything like that. This is just what I naturally got progressing through the game. Like, I still haven't beaten every single boss in the game. I still have all the side bosses. I did one-shot Serpent Share with this, which I might clip onto this video if I can figure out how to, but if not, I'll just go ahead and link it in the video up here. I'll have it in a card up there somewhere. And I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want any more build videos, so like, comment, subscribe, let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have an awesome day.